Hi, I'm Adam Deal from CMIWorship.com. I'd like to take a few moments here and explain, from my perception, how to move into a modern worship sound with a piano. As we know, with a modern sound, piano doesn't seem to have much of a place, but I say it still does. And if you play it right, it can be really effective in worship. First thing you want to do, if you're trying to move into a modern worship sound with your piano, is to move away from chorale music and sheet music. When I say chorale music, I'm talking about playing four parts of a hymnal, like this. That's what people sing, and you want to play that for a choir rehearsal, but not for worship. We need to accompany. That's why I say the best thing to move towards is to move towards guitar chords. You want to play like a guitar type of thing. If you want to do the hymns, you can get hymns on ccli.com. If you subscribe to their Song Select service, any hymn you can imagine has chords written out right above it, and that can help you out. When you move towards playing guitar chords, the idea here is to play accompaniment. You're not playing the melody. So, I mean, yeah, this is pretty. Like, for example, I Love You, Lord. This might sound pretty. But your job as a pianist is not to play the melody. That's the vocal's job, to sing the melody. Your job is to accompany them. Now, if they need a little bit of the melody to get going, sure, give it to them. But you don't want to stay there. For example, it sounds fuller if you do your part and the vocalist does his part. I'm going to sing it. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice. That is, to me, a better sound because it's taking two parts and separate them. I'm going to explain a little about how to do that and how to even make it cooler. First thing you got to understand is the basics. Of what I'm doing, maybe you know this, hang tight, I'm going to go in a few other places here, so just, bear with me. Bottom line of what you do here is in your right hand, you want to be playing a chord, in your left hand, you want to be playing the bass note. So here I'm playing a C chord, my left hand I'm playing a C. I'm doing octaves. Now, attached to this blog at cmiworship.com, there should be a chart that I like to call the chart. And it goes through and explains scale degrees for every key. Every single major key has numbers assigned to it. For example, in the key of C, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And each number is associated with that. So if you're going to find a chord, the pattern to find a major chord is 1, 3, 5. In the key of C, it's C, E, G. 1, 3, 5. Now a chord can be 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. Any order, as long as you have those notes. So on a piano it looks like this. Any of these are C chords. And to sound good with the band, I'm just going to put my left hand down here. The great advantage to using inversions, an inversion is when you rearrange the notes to a different area. The advantage to using inversions is that you can put all your chords right in the same area. For example, here is a C, up here is a G, but if I use an inversion, I have C, G, C, G, E minor, D. Everything's right here. It makes it a lot easier. So bottom line is you want to have your chord in the right hand, not playing melody, and the bass note in your left hand. Like that. I want to go over a couple patterns. This is where if you knew what I said before, you might not know the next thing. I'm going to give you a few ideas of patterns to play. Just a guitarist has all kind of patterns, man. They spend hours and hours practicing their strum pattern, down, up, down, whatever. We got the same deal going on piano, okay? I want to just give you a few basic ones. These are very basic. I have another video coming out on cmiworship.com. Make sure you subscribe, and you can get like a little bit more intense on the patterns I like to use, which are more advanced than the ones I'm going to give you right now. I have 5 patterns I want to go over with you right now. The first I like to call Chuck. This gives you a more Jewish sound. It's also what Mr. Goodman used to play with the Happy Goodman Family. So if you're doing a Jewish sounding song like Days of Elijah, you might go da 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 da. And if you're Happy Goodman Family, you go. That's what he used to do if you've ever seen the Happy Goodman Family. But all I'm doing that is bass note Chuck. Chuck, 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 Chuck. Simple. Next is the quarter note pulse. This is affectionately known as, in my world, the Billy Joel pound. Like Billy Joel used. Uptown, what's my Uptown girl, she don't really know the bum bum bum. As long as anyone with simple as pie, it's quarter note pound. Bop, 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 bop. And it's basic, but you know what? I use it a lot. If you're going to be a piano player in a modern worship sound, you need to be able to play the chord on a quarter note. It helps. And almost, I mean, that's my, I don't know what to play, quarter note pulse. It always works. Like, trading my sorrows. It always can kind of keep things going. And it works for a fast song, and it works for a slow song. Like Open the Eyes of My Heart, Lord. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. So that's the quarter note pulse, the Billy Joel pound, I like to call it. Next, number 3, is the 8th note boops. It's very similar to the quarter note pulse, only it's 8th note. And it kind of creates a boop sound. Like this song. I'll do it again on every day. I'm sorry. Yes, Lord? Trading my sorrows. Kind of creates a nice rolling effect. 4th is, again, I'm making up these names. You can call them whatever you want to call them, but I'm calling them whatever I want to call them because it's my video. Next, number 4, this pattern I call the Badu Badu flow. Badu Badu flow. This works really good for slow songs. Basically, the anatomy of the chord is, the anatomy of the pattern is I find my chord, I take 2 notes on top, and then 1 note on the bottom, and I badu it. Badu, 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 badu. This works good for slow songs, like Holiness. Ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Badu, 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 badu. So that's the Badu Badu flow. Number 5 is more advanced. I call it the chord and tinkle. Chord and tinkle. It works great for slow songs, but you have to be sensitive. If you're not sensitive, don't ever try chord and tinkle. Because here's the important part. The tinkle has to come when nobody else is singing. It has to come in the breaks. For example, there's the song Potter's Hand. Beautiful Lord, wonderful Savior, I know for sure all of my days are held in your hand. Chord and tinkle. Beautiful Lord, wonderful Savior, I know for sure. That was the wrong chord. All of my... whatever. that's the idea. You play the chord and you tinkle, chord and tinkle. But the tinkles have to come when you're not singing. If you try to tinkle at the wrong time, you're just going to ruin everything. So those are my patterns. Number 1, chuck. Number 2, quarter note pulse, the Billy Joel pound. Number 3, eighth note boops. Number 4, badu badu flow. And number 5, chord and tinkle. That's often really useful for the beginning of a slow song. So hopefully that helps you. It'd be awesome if you wrote those down, kind of took them with you to your next worship rehearsal, and you kind of, when you sit down and say, okay, which one of these should I use? And at which part in the song should I use them? You can kind of switch them up. So hopefully this helps you create a modern worship sound with a piano. Make sure you go to cmiworship.com, and over on the right side, on the sidebar, there's a spot to subscribe via email, and any blog that is ever updated gets sent to you in your inbox. So it's very, very cool. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I will see you next time on cmiworship.com.